In a shocking reveal tonight, one of the most shocking ever on this channel, I have obtained a letter written to Nancy Pelosi minutes ago, written by Republican and Democrats from the House, saying that she's not doing her role as Speaker of the House and that she needs to rethink what she's doing for COVID-19 relief, that her failure to get a stimulus package done is her fault, and it's one of the most scandalous letters I've ever seen obtained tonight by LALATE. It comes on the heels as a massive move is actually underway to throw Nancy Pelosi out as Speaker of the House. A call by the airlines saying that the House and the Congress has done nothing to get stimulus for American viewers. Additionally, a Congresswoman, Jamie Herrera Butuel of Washington's 3rd Congressional District, says she's so upset with Nancy Pelosi, she's taking it under her own wing and doing it herself. And more exciting news, but the great news is that you with the Purple Power are working, and that this is the result of your efforts. This is Evenings LALATE. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is LALATE, and this is LALATE Evenings, and a night in which you should be very very proud of what you have done, because as the Purple Power, you have absolutely turned the tide. No less than a week ago, we were dealing with a sort of situation in which congressional leaders seem to have no spine. We're just having one person determine the fate of the entire American people. And we thought, is anyone going to stand up to the Temple of Doom? Well, we did. You did. The Purple Power. I told you to get behind congressional leaders and say, I support you, you need to do something. Well, they've done. The most scandalous letter ever detailed on this channel, ever since, that letter to Javita Carranza from 120 congressional leaders detailed back, I think in May on this channel about EIDL. This is the most scandalous letter since then. And of course, it's on Congressional Letterhead. Thank you for tuning in. There's a reason why you're tuning into this channel, because no one is going to go into depth about what shocking developments are unfolding tonight like me with you. It's an incredible honor to have you watching tonight. Thank you. I appreciate it greatly. Go to the Funnest channel, subscribe to the best and fastest growing channel on YouTube for stimulus. The #1 channel, and now at 265,000 subscribers. Also like this video, because you are not going to hear anything like this anywhere else. Let's get to the shocking detail. Tonight I will be going through the congressional shocking letter. Then I will be going through the scandalous attempt by one congressional leader to just circumvent Nancy Pelosi altogether and do it on her own. She's introduced her own bill. Oh my goodness, she wrote the bill herself. A call by the airlines saying that Congress has done nothing for Americans and stimulus. Additionally, a call to action saying that it's time to throw Nancy Pelosi out as Speaker of the House. And this is amid news that Nancy Pelosi introduced yet another bill tonight. Not about stimulus. Not about cows. She took care of cows. $12 ice cream. But a massive 150-page bill to go after President Trump. Yeah, here we go again. All right, let's get to the incredible neat details. Also like this video if you haven't as well. Let me get to them right now. A shocking letter obtained by LALATE tonight that literally is 6 pages long of signatures is written to Nancy Pelosi, and it says, let me get right to the letter. This is written by Jared Golden, Brian Fitzpatrick, and he's a freshman Democrat. Yes, he's one of her caucus. It is a bipartisan letter. It is written by 21 Democrats and 13 Republicans, written to Pelosi and Republican Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, and says, you have done nothing for stimulus. Stop the shenanigans, and we are breaking from your ranks. You gotta love the freshman senators. They just and representatives. They don't play games. We write to express our concerns about the status of ongoing relations for a relief package Americans are facing as a result of the pandemic. It's been suggested by some members of Congress that some members of Congress are anxious to return to their district, take a vacation, in advance of their election, try to get themselves reelected, and even by that means leaving Capitol Hill without passing a relief bill. We want to be very clear that we do not in any way agree with this position. Oh boy. We strongly believe that until the House has successfully sent a new bipartisan, underlined bipartisan relief legislation to the Senate, our place of duty remains here in the People's House. Ooh. We are elected to represent the best interests of our constituents and the country. Our constituents' expectations in the midst of this crisis are that we not only rise to the occasion and stay at the table until we have delivered the relief that is so desperately needed, but also we set aside electoral politics and place the needs of the country before any one region, faction, or political party. Our constituents do not want us home campaigning while businesses continue to shutter, families struggle to pay the bills, food bank lines lengthen, schools struggle to reopen, pressures grow on hospital systems, and state and local budget shortfalls mean communities consider layoffs for first responders and teachers. These hardships are growing with every passing week. Staying at the table means keeping members of the House of Representatives in session and on Capitol Hill, underline, and on Capitol Hill, until a bipartisan deal is reached and passed in the House. We recognize we cannot dictate the actions of the Senate, but we can in the People's House continue to work to deliver an actual relief to the American people. This should be our number one priority in the coming days. It is our request that you keep the House in session till we work to the necessary deal, and we stand ready to work with you to ensure that Americans receive the urgent relief they need quickly as possible. My goodness. This letter written by Republicans and Democrats who are in the House, the Temple of Doom's home, says that, hey, yeah, you did something back in May. You passed the HEROES Act, but it was partisan. It was a Democratic bill. It did not get Republican support, and it still does not get Republican support. Do something that is not partisan. I mean, the fact that how partisan it is, the bill, it says the stimulus checks cannot go out if they have the president's name on them. Who do you expect to sign the check? Who's going to sign the check? The cow? Someone has to sign the check. That's the extent of how partisan that bill was. The bill didn't even have EIDL. It didn't even have EIDL grants. It doesn't have PPP. It had a lot of bailout of Andrew Cuomo and Gavin Newsom. This is shocking. I mean, this is a really shocking letter. It says that all you have done as the House has pandered to your purpose and not to the rest. Now that's the first letter. I have another one. Yeah. It's one of those nights. Get ready. There is more. This wonderful woman, let me turn to her. Let me go out of order. This wonderful woman, she's also in the House. She just had enough. I mean, she literally had enough. So you know what she did? She wrote her own bill. Sounds like me, I wonder if she's single. Let me go to her. She said, there's an issue with the businesses. And the issue with the businesses is they need PPP money. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I know that a lot of you aren't here for PPP. But Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler of Washington's Congressional 3rd District said that it's insane that the House of Representatives never passed a bill to extend PPP, which is true. Nancy Pelosi didn't want it in her HEROES Act. It's not in there. And so what she has done is she's actually filed her own bill to allow for an expedited floor vote on her bill to extend PPP. She has followed House rules, and she wants to get it voted by this Friday. And should the petition garner 218 signatures, she's going to push it right through. She slams Nancy Pelosi. I've introduced this discharge petition so we can go around Nancy Pelosi's unwillingness to make the Paycheck Protection priority a priority and rush aid to small businesses who desperately need it. without going into incredible detail, because again, it's not something that a lot of the viewers of this channel are focused on PPP. The issue is that this person says that Nancy Pelosi has sort of done nothing for the American people. So here's someone actually writing a bill to go around her. Now, can they only just do it for the stimulus checks? That was then, as we have her and we have Jared Golden, Max, I forgot his last name, Max out of New York, Max Headroom, Mad Max out of New York, the representative who was all over broadcast news this week saying, what Nancy Pelosi is doing is outrageous. We need to get this relief done without her. He's also one of the people who signed the letter with Jared Golden, which I started with. There's more. Tonight, Nancy Pelosi unveiled a 158-page new bill. Your stimulus checks? No. Enhanced unemployment benefits? No. What is it? It's a bill to prevent Trump pardons and to tee up another Trump impeachment. What did that cause the reaction to? Well, Kevin McCarthy says, if Pelosi tries to impeach the president, we're going to remove her from the speakership. That was minutes ago. He says, I will make this promise to you on national television. There will be a move on the floor to no longer have the question of her, Nancy Pelosi, being speaker. She may think it's a quiver. We do too. We are going to move forward to remove her from Speaker of the House. And then there's this. We're only 10 minutes of this video. The airlines are angry with the Congress as well. So remember the airlines? They were not with us then sort of by themselves. Now they're back with us as of this morning. Well, tonight they're even more pissed off as we are, but we don't get negative. The airlines now are slamming Congress. They said without a hard public commitment from Congress to schedule a vote before October 1st. Remember, a firm movement. This is what I'm making very clear. This is no more than election year political grandstanding, says Julie Hendrick, president of the Association of Professional Flight Attendants in America. Oh, very impressive. Can I have some nuts with that? I could miss that. If we're going to save the airline industry, we have to do it now. Sarah Nelson, president of the Association of Flight Attendants for CWA Union, said we need leadership here to just simply do what every member across the party and the White House agrees to be done now. So as we sit here tonight, your efforts have worked very well. I remember a week ago where people said, it's whatever she says, the Temple Doom and otherwise, and I said, ignore what she says. We're going to ignore what she says. We're going to focus on our path. And this is what the Purple Power has done. I understand this is not Purple Power. That's right after this in 30 minutes from now at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard, 7 o'clock Pacific Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But it really is about Purple Power, this video. This video shows you that as you sit here for your second stimulus checks, the problem solvers bill is the one that's being pushed. These people who wrote this letter, you absolutely have to get behind. But I'm really not quite clear why they don't say pass the problem solvers bill. You have a bill that a lot of the people who wrote that, signed that letter have already publicly come out and supported. So why didn't you just mention the problem solvers bill in the letter? The problem solvers bill will give you a $1,200 stimulus check now, and then another one next March. If you're a married couple, $2,400. If you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, a stimulus check as well. It needs to be revised. The bill was only a working apparatus to start with. And what needs to be revised is $1,200 for the dependents. This is whether you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, but are a dependent or a minor dependent. Incredibly great news. It would not be taken out for child support, and it would likely expand to a 5-person household, but is not clear. This is all incredibly great news. If this follows to a vote by October 1st, which is the airline's deadline, you could possibly have your check by October 11th. Yeah. Steve Mnuchin, head of the Treasury, has represented that the routing times to receive a stimulus check from IRS is about 10 days after it becomes law. If it became law on October 1st, well, 10 days plus weekends is about October 11th, October 12th, October 13th. Let's do it, folks. Let's do this stuff right now. Come on. We're so darn close. This is a movement. Movement. Cows, not included. Um, it has been utter nonsense. Yeah, I had to do that. But we're getting there. We're absolutely categorically getting there. FPUC, under the second stimulus package of the Problem Solvers bill, is almost there, but needs a revision. The revision is retroactive. It's 450 for 8 weeks and then 5 weeks at 600, but it has no retroactive provision, which simply looks like a darn mistake. I just don't know what they were thinking. Why would you start FPUC in October and then not give people benefits retroactively? If you did not qualify for LWA, it would essentially not give you 8 weeks of benefits. That doesn't work. So it needs to be revised. It has EIDL loan in there, but that has to be revised. It needs more money. You can't have a cap on EIDL, which is what Javita wants you to have. It needs more It needs EIDL grant. A lot of viewers never got the grant. They applied, they got the loan, they didn't get the grant. So people need to grant money. They're owed their grant money. Just give them some grant money. And then the rest of the bill is ostensibly really incredibly good. It provides money for food, even though today she got money for food in the CR bill. It provides student loan debt forbearance, which means you would not have to pay the principal or interest currently. It provides you rent aid, so you would get free rent money for your landlord to pay to your landlord, and utilities between now and December. It would provide you a better eviction moratorium and a better mortgage forbearance than is currently on the books, because both of them are a little bit limiting. So this is all really incredible, great news. And then anything that's really lacking in the bill just sort of needs to be fixed with. You know, as we sit here tonight, the situation is very clear. And I understand, as I have some new viewers in this channel, clearly, in the last week or two. Let me explain a couple financial numbers, which I haven't said in a while. I've said here and there. Steve Mnuchin offered $400 a week for enhanced unemployment benefits, FPUC, in July. Had she accepted that, you would have had, it's been 8 weeks since he offered it, or 10 weeks since he offered it, you would have had $4,000 in your bank account. He offered her $1,200 stimulus check, so you would have had a $1,200 stimulus check in your bank account as well. So we're up to $5,200. You would have had rent aid, because he did offer that as well. He did offer food. So you would have had all these things in your bank account. Instead of having $5,200 plus dollars, you have none of that. You have some LWA, maybe, and that's about it. It's not fair. It's categorically unfair. And this is unfair in the face of what happened in April. And I don't say it every video, and I wish I could, but it's true, and it's very, very disconcerting. You were owed multiple checks when the pandemic hit. The original draft of the CARES Act said multiple checks. They took it out. So you never got a check for the month of April, May, June, July, August. And now we're trying to fight for a check for the month of September, which won't arrive in the month of September. It will arrive in the month of October. It's just not fair in the face of a woman who wants to give a bailout to states at $950 billion that would give them free grant money for 3 years. You see why this is causing such an uproar tonight is because these are elected officials paid to work. They're not paid to take vacations. Every member of the House is up for re-election, including Temple of Doom. I tweeted earlier, and at the time of this broadcast, I'm going to tweet as well, an image that shows every House seat that is a battleground that you need to absolutely push, and every Senate seat that is up for re-election that you need to push. 3 moves tonight, and I'm going to detail them more on Purple Power. 1, you need to get behind the Problem Solvers. 2, you need to get behind the Blue Dogs. 3, you need to get behind the New Age Democrats. 4, I'll be sending out an image, a link, so you can download this article, this letter, and find the Twitter accounts for each of the respective people. I may try to find them as well and figure out a way for you to see them, to reach out to these people, say, I support you. Amen, I support you. This is incredible. This is the best thing I've heard anyone do this entire week. B, you need to push with the president. He still should be doing executive order for your stimulus check. He said he's going to do it. He hasn't done it. Go do it, Mr. President. Enough is enough. Do the executive order for FPUC as well. I'm not forgetting my hazard pay viewers. The other thing that has to be revised in the problem solvers bill is to put hazard pay in there. And finally, you have to push back seats for stimulus. It is the reason because of your pushing that the people are writing letters like now, because they understand that people aren't stupid. We're not stupid. That's not the purple power. We aren't going to vote for you if you've never given us stimulus. What have you done since May? Write things and sit around and have lunch? No one pays elected officials to just write bills. We pay you to get us things, and you haven't gotten us anything. And that's the spirit of the purple power. So thank you for joining this video tonight, which is, didn't have as many jokes as I would have liked. But sometimes I have to be a little bit harder. And this was a harder video, meaning I had to push a harder narrative. And I had to go in deep. So I hope you appreciate the tone in which the message was delivered. Go to the Friends channel and subscribe. I'll promise to bring you jokes on the next video. And drop your comments below. I appreciate seeing your comments. And also like this video, because, there's going to be some cows that, if you don't like it, knocking on your door. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused, and stay at Ally for more.